2, 1. You're live.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Woman Crush Every Day. We are going to recap the season finale of the L Word Generation Q. So I'm Tang.
Awu.
And we also have a live audience today. So we just got done having a watch party at Kofi House, the Center for Lesbian and Queer Women and Girls in Detroit. So we're going to jump into the show. And I did actually take notes this time.
And you know what? I was going to my notes and I did not charge my phone. I'm at 2%. So I don't even know that I can really rely on this. I'm going to default to you. Great.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So initial thoughts of the show. What did you think?
I think they did everything they needed to do for a season finale. All of the cliffhangers, just every possible switch up, shift up that happened. So, you know, they kept it classic in that way. I think it was overall a good episode. Yeah, I feel like I'm satisfied and I'm ready for the next season.
Okay.
How about you?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun ride. There were a lot of surprising things. They changed my feelings about people, which I didn't think they were going to be able to achieve. So that was fun. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with where the whole show begins. It is election day. Bette is waiting to see if she's going to be mayor. Danny is there. She is kind of freaking out, but she's hopeful. She's saying, you know, Bette is in the lead. Things are going well. And Bette might win. And then we have Sophie, who's over in the wings, just looking pathetic because Danny's not giving her attention. So she's being annoying per usual.
Yeah, this is another one of this episode really, like, I already have been struggling with how I feel about actually I haven't been struggling. I've been really clear about not liking Sophie. I don't like her. You know, she does funny things and it just gets on my nerves. So this episode put the nail in the coffin. Like, get her out of here. Get her out of here. She was just, the whole thing, I feel like to see her make this, to make election night about her. I mean, the whole culmination, the whole reason of why Danny hasn't been available, who she's working for. She quit the job with her dad, the whole nine, to be acting like how she was acting. That was just selfish beyond what I could possibly understand. And it just confirmed, I don't like her.
Yeah, I don't like Sophie either. But I kind of started to think maybe Sophie and Finley would be better together.
Oh, they're a match made in hell. No.
Yes. Sophie has not told Danny that she made out with Finley. Just maybe it was the night before, some time ago at the hospital. And so we are waiting to see, you know, is she going to tell Danny what's going to happen? They just continue to carry on. So Finley and Sophie end up hooking up in the green room later in the show. And it's like a slow hookup. Like, they are touching each other's faces. They are neck on cheek. They are taking it very slow. It is so sensual. They are laughing together. Finley has a super gay outfit on, so shout out to Calvin Klein.
The Calvin Klein plug was hilarious. Just like, okay.
And they hook up again. And Sophie is, I think, really starting to think that she's having second guesses about if she's going to do this wedding that Danny has now proposed to have in Hawaii. It's a hot ass mess.
I don't know why it just came to me. I'm like, can Finley afford Calvin Klein? Like, priorities, Finley, priorities. You know, no, it's all wrong. Throw the whole Finley away.
Well, you can get Calvin Klein at Marshall, so maybe.
Okay, maybe we got a Maxinista here. Who knows where you can find the deals? I don't know, but okay.
So sad face. Bette loses the election, just one district short of what she needed to have in order to win, and so then Danny is sad. But she immediately jumps into, well, I don't even have a job right now. What's going to make me happy? Marrying my wife will make me happy. So she proposes to Sophie that they skip having this whole wedding mess here. Just go to Hawaii, do it just together, go ahead and elope in a beautiful place, and then they'll get back and celebrate with their families later. And Sophie, after she has hounded Danny this whole time about, communicate with me, do you even really want to be with me? This wedding should be about us, is now like having second thoughts because she's secretly in love with Finley. Also, I think she's just afraid of commitment.
Yeah, I think she's absolutely just afraid of commitment, and that's what we see. And we actually see a conversation with Danny and her dad when Danny is going to explain what's going on. Like, look, we're leaving tomorrow. We're going to Hawaii. We're getting married, and that is what it is. And he's like, you got to learn to deal with that because we're in this like true love thing. And he's like, you know what? Honestly, it ain't even about that. What it's about is Danny ain't shit. And well, actually, hold on. Reel it in. He didn't say that. He said that she comes from an unstable situation.
He said a broken family. He used like the code word.
I think that was kind of bold, actually, because I feel like the painting of like if you come from a situation like Danny's that you just don't deserve love ever. I feel like that was kind of sprinkled around, and I was like, I mean, people are people, like chill out with that. But Danny is pretty much, Sophie's pretty much checking every box that her dad was talking about as to why not to mess with her. And there you go.
And he wasn't really wrong. He was wrong for just painting that broad picture, but Sophie truly is broken. We started the season with her having this conversation about how she doesn't want to be her father who kind of walked out on them. And then she proceeds to do everything to sabotage her relationship. And she doesn't want to invite Sophie to be with her when her grandmother's in the hospital. She complains about the communication style. When Danny stands up to her dad, she's just like, it's not good enough because now you won't talk to me immediately about your feelings. Sophie is showing every reason why she's not ready to get married. And now that Danny is proposing, let's do it right now, right away. You can see that Sophie is breaking down. We also have that Tina, we don't get to see it, but Tina talks to Angie about the engagement, and Angie reveals to Bette that she is sad about it. And also that Bette doesn't ever show any of her feelings. Okay, back up. Bette loses the election. Then Milner, who won the election, we all hated him the whole season, offers for Bette to come on and be a part of the opioid task force. And Bette's like, yes, I can still do what I ran for, power to Kit. This is going to be good. Well, when Danny talks to her dad reveals, I also have a deal with Milner to build this jail that's probably going to be filled with all these people who have these addictions. And so Danny tells Bette, you're being set up. This isn't real. And it finally sets in for Bette, like, I've completely lost this election. All these things with Angie being pushed down, with losing Felicity, with being exploited and embarrassed to the public has been for nothing. I have nothing in this. And my ex-wife, who I'm still deeply in love with, is not trying to be with me. So Bette is sad. She's crying. And Angie comes and says, you need to go and process. And so they go off to the mountain retreat, flash back to the original series where Bette did her silent retreat. And they scream together. And Angie just pretty much tells her, like, you need to learn how to be sad.
Yeah, that was cool to even bring in the daughter, dropping the gems on Bette to let her, know that she can live her full experience. As they are leaving, Angie and Bette are leaving their hiking trip. They run into Maya. Maya is a reporter who we've seen a couple of times throughout the series. And, Maya's, a little baddie who has some interested feelings in Bette. And Maya invites Bette to dinner and says, she's like, you don't have to answer now. Go ahead and think about it. By the end of the episode, we see Bette looking like an 11 out of 10.
Oh my God.
Yes, a total snack.
That ass.
Dress is gorgeous. I hope y'all heard that.
All that.
So they go out and have dinner, and it seems like, we're really turning a new leaf.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
I thought it was really important for Bette to have this conversation with Angie, and for Angie to bring up that Bette doesn't grieve. And I think that's something that parents don't think about, is they're always trying to hold it together for the family, keep it strong for the kids. But you also have to teach your kids how to deal with their emotions and how to really live out their emotions and have that grieving process. So I was really happy that Angie kind of had that wisdom to point that out to Bette and let her know, like, it's okay to be sad even in front of me. That was so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Precious Angie.
I want to reel it back just a little bit and go to the losses, like this episode. Actually, I wonder what the name of this episode is. If it's like L for losses, because it was a lot of loss happening.
Yeah.
Bette loses the election. Then we find out that Kiara loses the baby.
Terrible.
And we might have lost Kiara because Kiara. Okay, so after that situation, Shane is doing Shane stuff. Okay, what happens is we see Shane boxing up all these old baby toys that were sent to her. And Kiara comes in the room and is like, why are you boxing? Oh, she's like, I didn't think you wanted to see this, all this baby stuff. And she's like, I want a baby. How many times I gotta say that? And you don't. And that's whack. And I really am over you because you're selfish and I'm leaving and and it was a big blow up and Kiara boogies. And
she also tells Shane nobody's going to love her because she doesn't love anyone but herself.
Burn.
Like,
Oh.
how long has she been holding on to that?
Yeah, I don't know. They've read so much to me like I just miscarried versus like this is really how I feel. Yeah, so it seemed very much like it was all these emotions happening, and this is how they came out. I hope that they're able to fix that, but I don't know. In order for what Shane ends up doing is crying and then goes out for a drive and finds a dog eating trash, and as opposed to finding who the dog belongs to, she steals the dog and puts the dog in her back seat. And I guess Shane has a dog now to deal with all of the loss that she's faced this episode.
Yeah, I think they're going to get back together. The way Shane was fighting for Kiara in that doctor's office, and she's just like, you're doing this to my pregnant wife? No, we're going to see a doctor right now. She really went to bat for her. She probably went a little too far, but I can tell that she is really dedicated to Kiara, and I hope that they do find a way back together, but I think Shane has really got to figure out, do you want to be a parent or don't you? Because that's the only way she's going to get Kiara is if she's on Kiara's terms.
I think that is kind of Shane expressing that she does want to take care of something. And I mean, dogs don't ever grow up either. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
like
they stay the same. They like, if you can take care of a dog, you can take care of a baby, Yeah. So hopefully they figure it out.
Yeah. Speaking of somebody who needs to be taken care of, Finley goes back to Rebecca after she has slept with Sophie, realizes she may have ruined the relationship of her friend. Even though I don't think she really ruined anything. Their relationship was crashing and burning anyway. But Finley goes to Rebecca and says, one, I'm sorry for what I did to you. I should have never said you were a fake priest, even though she's not a priest at all. And I did this to my friend. I'm a terrible person. And you keep telling me I'm a good person. So what makes you believe that? And Rebecca gives her the advice to take a little responsibility for something. So Finley decides to return the bike that she stole on the first episode. She hooked up with this girl and then took her bike and never returned it. And she's been riding around drunk on this bike.
Every episode we see Finley on a bike. It is not her bike.
And she's always wasted. So,
but, she's buying Calvin Klein bras and can't buy a bicycle. That's just...
Those might have been stolen too.
Oh, probably were.
Everything. The rainbow underwear, everything was probably stolen. But it was nice. While we were doing the watch party, one of the viewers pointed out that when Sophie and Finley hooked up, that was the first time we've seen Finley hook up with anybody while being sober. So I have a little hope for Finley. As much as I hate her character, I'm hoping that if they bring her back next season, she will be a little bit further along in getting healed and getting her life together at all.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see her and Sophie together.
If they can find something and make it make sense, and absolutely more power to them. But I do feel like they are the masters of wasting everybody's time.
Yeah.
And, I think, finding love, I would never deny that to anybody.
I think it would just be a good growing relationship for them. They both seem to be a hot mess in different ways, and maybe they can kind of reflect off of one another and bring each other to something else. Because they both seem to have some kind of guilt. Whenever they interact together, they realize what they're doing to ruin the relationships outside of the two of them. So maybe it's just good for the world if they get together and stop bothering everybody else.
Everybody else, just leave everybody else out of this.
Yes.
Please, y'all do what y'all doing.
Yes.
Yeah. So, let's talk about Jose and Micah.
Yeah.
So Jose is a painter and is doing this big exhibit, and this is like opening night and all that good stuff. And he has done a painting of Micah. And
The
so
fantasy version.
Micah's kind of like, I want to see it, let me check it out before we actually get to the spot. He's like, no, we're going to hit you with the surprise. So they get there, and actually, I kind of don't know if I could totally read the reaction where it was like, I hate it, but then he's like, I love you.
Yeah,
and
he didn't say anything about the piece. Classic deflection.
So yeah, okay, you would say wasn't feeling it. And so, I mean, they kind of work that out in that moment, it kind of passes over. But then later on during the exhibit, a gentleman approaches Micah and is like, oh, hey, how you doing? What's up? What's going on? How did you get here? Oh, like, who are you? And he's like, he reveals he is Jose's husband.
Husband.
Not
right.
Not friend, not none of that. We don't go back. No, like,
that's
if you like husband. It, you should have put a ring on it, and like it's a ring involved.
And I don't know how Jose didn't know that your husband was going to be at your opening.
Yeah,
like that just seems like something you would assume would happen. So I don't know where his husband and he are in their communication with one another. Jose looks over and sees that Micah and Scott are talking to each other, and he's like, "Oh, that's probably bad." And we don't find out anymore.
Wild.
Micah is done.
Another
I think it's done. Yeah, which is sad because I really wanted things to work out for Micah.
Yeah, they were cute.
They were
cute.
And I just stayed with Hassan, even though Hassan was clearly out here hoeing. He was not trying to just be with
Micah, and I think, the fact that Micah made himself so vulnerable for Jose, to be throwing the I love you around and all the extra stuff, and to have a whole husband, that's scandalous.
Yeah.
That's bold.
Okay. Well, there was one happy thing, and that was with Alice and Nat, formerly of NAG, with Nat, Alice, and Gigi. So Roxanne Gay gets on the show. Before I talk about Nat, I just have to be angry. You have Roxanne Gay on the show.
Wait. Let's get to the anger. Wait.
Backtrack. Okay. So Alice is interviewing Roxanne Gay. She's telling her about how she.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I do want to go back a little bit more to how we even got Roxanne Gay
on
the show.
Yeah.
So everybody is talking like, we don't know how life is going to work out. We might as well just go hard, ride for what we believe in and do it. If it doesn't work, then it just doesn't work. So Alice really takes that to heart. She goes up to the studios, calls everybody. It's like, look, y'all, I got a big old message, and we're doing the show the way I want to do it. If it doesn't work, who cares? If they cancel the show, who cares? Y'all are lesser than me. If y'all get fired after this and lose y'all jobs, that's not my problem. It's your problem. But we're going to get Roxanne Gay on this episode and yada, yada, yada. So,
and Sophie does that. The one right thing she does in the whole episode.
Sophie gets Roxanne Gay on the show, and now, boom, we're recording live. We're having a conversation, Alice and Roxanne Gay. And one of the questions is like on a scale from what's a bad queer?
Yeah.
On a scale from 1 to what the fuck, which I thought was a hilarious quote. And so then they qualify a bad queer as a woman who wants 2 kids and a picket fence, which I thought was weird. But
I've heard that so many times before.
Yeah, maybe I need to know some more backstory.
Because I think they're talking about this heteronormative life that bad queers are the ones that kind of uplift these traditions that the rest of the world has kind of bought into. And that if you're queer, then you should be really queering everything and breaking down power structures and relationships and all of this. And Alice is just like, I tried to be a good queer. I tried to be open-minded. I tried this poly thing. I set it up in a messy way by inviting my girlfriend's ex-wife to come be our third. It all ended up blowing up in my face. And what I realized from that, or what Alice realized from that, is that I am a bad queer. I want this one woman, and I want us to be together with her kids, and that's what I want.
And then from the crowd, I'm here. We hear Nat come from the back, and she's like, "Baby, I love you." And she walks up, and it was funny because
she's actually dressed well for the first time.
Well, I don't know. Those Converse threw me off at the end.
Wasn't terribly mad at the Converse because I'm like, you tried, and I can only expect so much from you at once.
Fair enough. But Alice doesn't want her to come on stage. Sophie's on the side like, yeah, this is great for ratings. This is great for ratings. Come on up. And so then they have their little magical moment of saying, I love you, baby. I love you too, girl. We're going to do this forever.
They make out on stage.
Yeah.
Crowd is like, hey, so good.
They love it. But everybody else who wants to see Roxanne Gay
is pissed. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. And Alice has done this every single time. She had the soccer star on there, didn't ask her any real questions. Then she had the mayor on there, the mayor that nobody even wanted to win mayor. And she asked him real questions. And then you get Roxanne Gay and you blow it on this love fest. And I'm just like, can we just have a real conversation? Because this is what you've been asking for all season. You say you want a real show, Alice, where you really ask these hard-hitting questions and you get these in-depth interviews. And it is blown again on like Lesbian Love Fest. It was a very cute ending. It totally boosted her ratings. And I'm like, you wasted Roxanne Gay's time. In my opinion.
I wonder, did they say that it boosted her ratings? Did they say that everybody was tuning in?
We can assume that people want to see, one, a surprise girlfriend shows up on set. Two, you've revealed that you've been in a polyamorous, messy-ass relationship. Not even like typical, like, oh yeah, we invited a third person, now we all live together. No, I invited her ex-wife. So you're bringing all the juiciness that Alice is good for. And then you have this, not a proposal on stage, but a confession of love on stage. I mean, that's like replay gold.
Yeah.
People are going to pass that video around. That's like what viewers want, especially pop viewers for Alice.
Or the people funding it might be like, this is way too volatile. You got your lovers jumping on stage in the middle of a show when we actually paid her thousands of dollars, Roxanne Gay, to come out and actually be a guest on the show. And now the star is your girlfriend. Like, come on now. That, I don't know. I think she might definitely get the plug pulled on her for the shenanigans. Even though I'm sure like if that was the episode of the Alice show that I went to, fire, 10 out of 10, absolutely recommend. But like, yeah, if I'm funding this, you need to handle home at home. This is your job. Chill out. Well, and also, this is also taking advice from Sophie, who we all know don't take advice from her.
You shouldn't take advice from
Don't
Sophie.
listen to Sophie.
But
if Sophie says do it.
Think this probably did save Alice's show. I think it probably saved her show. I think it gave her fans and a more in-depth look to her. The whole show revolves around her. Alice is known for being the outer, and that was her thing in the last series, is that she became the talk person who outs people, and it's herself who she ended up outing about being poly and about wanting to be just a boring queer person. So at least we got one happy love connection. In the end, we do classic romance and two movies, like the romantic comedy ending, where Danny is waiting on her flight to Honolulu. Is she going to Honolulu? No, they're going to another island. She's waiting on a flight to Hawaii, and Finley is on her way to Missouri, and we don't know which place Sophie is going to end up. She's running through the airport. She's out of breath. She's carrying this one bag, which makes me think you're not going anywhere. And she is, trying to decide, where am I going to go? Am I going to go with my fiance or my funny friend? So,
yeah, I think leaving Danny at the airport to say, yeah, they start boarding, and it's like, first class boarding. First class boarding. And then she like, okay, that's me. I'm first class boarding. Where's my wife to be? And I just like, this is so crummy. Like, this is not how you communicate with somebody, especially when we see Sophie spending the entire season like, communicate with me. Yeah. And then when it's like really time to tell your feelings, when it's really time to say what's up, you totally go dry. She says she sleeps with, first she kisses Finley, then she sleeps with Finley, then she's like, okay, yeah, we can go to Hawaii and get married, and then she ghosts her at the airport. Oh, I wish I had more hands so I could give Sophie 4 thumbs down. I don't like her. Just garbo. And then, what's her face? We see Finley. She's headed to see her sister's wedding because
she's not invited.
She didn't even get invited to. So she's about to crash her sister's wedding in Missouri, and Sophie's trying to catch somebody in the airport before they go.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait until season 2, which has been confirmed. There will be one. So let us know what you think. Who do you think Sophie ended up meeting at the airport, or did she just completely change her ticket and go somewhere else altogether? And yeah, what are your thoughts for the episode? And what are you all watching next?
Yeah, super excited about that. I think this was a really fun way to end this season. I am excited for what happens next. You know what I did think was going to happen?
What?
I thought that there was going to be like an opportunity for a Danny Bette hookup.
I thought that was going to happen too.
But it might happen now. The way Sophie's acting, that ghost mode. Well, no, it won't because Maya.
He's gonna pass up
because
Maya.
Maya is a real person, and
I mean, Danny's cute though.
Danny's cute, but
was rocking.
Danny's a kid. I don't even know.
Not a kid.
I mean, but I wonder, like, how would Angie feel if, right? How would Angie feel with Danny being stepmom? You know what I mean? Like, the age difference between Danny and Angie is probably like 8 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Super awkward. I don't think Bette is too interested in that.
No.
Even if I am.
It could happen though, because this won't be the first time that Bette would have hooked up with somebody younger. Of course, she was younger then as well, but she did hook up with her grad student when she was the dean of the art school. Ooh. So, I mean, she has it in her. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a quick hookup, but it's not really taken seriously, especially if Sophie ends up standing Danny up at the altar, which I predict she's about to.
Yeah, Danny, Bette. Wait, who? Danny, yes. Danny, I think, does need to deal with folks who, I don't know, at least understand her work and what she's doing. I feel like there's a complete disconnect from what Sophie's understanding of what's going on. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we got a nice sex talk in there. It was a good sex talk. Safe sex, sex should be an enjoyable thing. So if people are pressuring you and you don't feel like you're about to enjoy it, don't do it. And that was a nice segue into trying to deflect from the conversation and helping Bette get a date with Maya. So yeah. Cuteness.
Whew. Okay. Yeah. I think we got it all out.
Yeah.
That was good.
What are y'all looking forward to for next season? Let us know what you're watching. And that's it.
That's it.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, I'm supposed to do it like that.